First of all, I'm very sorry because I just recovered from a bad flu. So, my voice is just a little bit weird. I hope you can still bear with me. Yeah, thank you. So, yeah, I think for my part, it would be, a little bit, like a lot of data, a lot of numbers, and a lot of boring stuff that normally people don't really want to, to look into it. But I think the beauty of it is that how can we get the most out of these numbers or out of the figures and the data, and then make it into interesting stories to the business. Yeah, and like it or not, all of us we have to deal with it every day, right? And especially, I think in any kind of jobs, it is not only in HR, right, but in sales, marketing, you name it, that we use a lot of data every day. So, sorry, oops. What I will cover quickly today is, okay, so basically what I'm covering today is to just quickly, walk you through what is big data means in HR management, and then what are the key benefits of it, and then how we can apply it into our daily operation, yeah? So first of all, like what I mentioned earlier, all of us, we have to deal with so many data every day, and especially in HR, every day you have to receive so many CVs, right? You also, you have to read a lot of information, for example, about employee survey or a lot of salary information and things like that. So what are we going to do with a huge amount of information or data, right? And important thing is that how can we get the insights or the information or interesting stories out of those numbers or data? So that is the reason why we're gonna, normally the process of it, and then the reason why people, we cannot just focusing on those data and, crunch those numbers, yeah? But because the business requires to play around with the data and then to generate so many reports. And what are you going to do with those reports, right? Are you going to read all of that? But even if you read all of that, what does it actually mean to the business? Then we need to have somebody to do the analysis for us to understand what does the data tell us, right? And then from these analysis, we generate them into the insights. And based on that, we generate also, kind of the actions or any business plan to address or to mitigate any risk or whatever that we have seen from the data. And I think, let me just give you an example. And I think for my part, it is very short, but I just want to bring them to life, that something that we have to deal with every day, yeah? So that leads me to the highlights of what is the key benefits of these playing with data analytics. This is just a funny cartoons, but the thing is that how can we really want to get the best out of this? And this is just an example, right? An example of so many data that every single HR person have to deal with every day. In different companies, you may have it in different forms or in different templates. And I believe most of us, we're also using the most common Excel sheets to control it. Is it? I see a lot of notes down there. So yeah, we use a lot of Excel to track on a lot of data. But I think with technology nowadays, that we can utilize them and to really turn those, boring, plain Excel sheet into something, more exciting, and then, more colorful and attractive and easy for us to tell the story. And again, thank you, Anton, where are you? This is, all of that we are doing here is using Microsoft and, and using Microsoft and Power BI to generate all of the data that we collected, but then make it into nice things for you to see over here. But what I'm trying to say here is that how are you going to deal with all of these information and turn that into insights? How can we do that? Yeah. And this is just an example. Yeah. Then like how many employees you have, and then are you going to track how many females, how many male, and what is their age, and then what are all of the demographics from all of the data that you have, and then what are the average years of service of people. And for those data, you will also ask a lot of questions, right? For example, when we got hit by high attrition, then there's going to be a lot of questions. And before HR can answer them, I'm sure that all of the business leaders will also come to you and ask you the question, why? Why are they leaving? Why the management already decided to have 20% salary increase, but then still, we are still facing with high attrition, right? And then, or for example, that the company have tried to do so many staff activities, but then still, people also leaving, yeah? So a lot of questions will be asked, or being an HR person, you will also ask yourself when you have to look into that. And how can HR analytics can help you? And let me just give you an example. For example, I'm talking about attrition, which is a famous, topic of every HR that we have to look into every day, right? And then with data analytics, it can help you to, to have a deeper look. For example, like if you look into the attrition itself or the total number of people leaving, then it may not tell you anything. But then if you have a digger, deeper into the numbers, you will also see that, let's say, what are the ages of those who left us as a company? And what is their average salary? Yeah? And what are the, the year of service of these people? When you have, when these numbers or these charts are in front of you, it will tell you a lot of things. Yeah, for example, if you look into this, you will see that the average, from this example, the group that leave the company, the biggest group leaving the company is within the age of 20 to 30 years old, right? And depends on the business you are in, it will also tell you something out of it, whether is it a millennial issues or is it something with the culture, yeah, that the company cannot giving the right space or the right environment for the young people to shine, and that is why they are leaving, and things like that. And if you look into the chart in the middle, you will also see that, let's say, I'm talking about these numbers in US dollars, just to make it simple, okay? You may see that the group of people who leaving us are those who having less than or up to $500 per month, right? And you see that there's the majority of those who left the companies are within this range, which also, what does it mean to us, right? So, which means that this group of people are the ones who are more vulnerable, and they are easier to be attracted by any other opportunity outside, and which they can offer them higher salary, right? Because, for example, for the group of people who already have, let's say, $2,000 per month, the incremental, if they move to another company, will be less, sufficient, like the other group of 500, something like that, yeah? And then also when you look into the chart, the third one, you will also see that those people who are joining us, joining the company for less than a year, they are the most vulnerable group, right? Because either that they will not want to get fit into the new environment, or because, because they haven't yet been engaged to the environment. And that is why they are more vulnerable, and that is why they want to leave, right? So from this kind of information, it's gonna help us to drive the actions. So what are we going to do if we still want to keep this group of people? So we need to dig into those information and see that, what's gonna be the activities or what kind of information we need to drill down out of it in order to generate or to propose to the management the appropriate mitigation actions. Yeah. So, in summary, you know, like what I want to highlight it over here is, for me, you know, the top three key benefits of using HR analytics in an efficient way is, first of all, to help us to answer a lot of questions, you know, going through the examples that I shared with you earlier. Yeah. And then based on that, it helps the leaders to, you know, generate or to be either proactive or also, you know, like be more confident to make the right decision, right? And I think the ultimate goal, or the ultimate benefits out of this is that we can improve the customer satisfaction. I intentionally highlighted get the customer bold, because, you know, here, customer here can also means that internal customer is also mean external customers. And customers are all important to us. For HR, we could be able to, you know, to give the better or the more proactive consultation to the management on the staff, activities or any HR-related actions, or also, you know, externally, that we can also help to address the issues, or we could be able to respond to our customers in a better way. And it is important because if we can make the customer happy, which means that we can have more opportunity to optimize our business or to grow our operations even, right? So keep our customer happy is the most important thing in any business, okay? And I think, you know, the example I shared earlier is, you know, just, you know, like for you to have an idea of how we can play around with that. But, you know, in HR in general, when you talk about recruitment, you talk about training, you talk about, you know, performance management or something, all of those information, we can still, you know, like doing a proper analysis of those data and then turn that into the appropriate actions. And I think I will not talk about, you know, the theory anymore. What I'm going to show to you now, together with my colleagues, Long, is some real example of how we play around with these data, yeah, and using Power BI, you know, that is provided by Microsoft, by the way. By the way, in this room, how many of you using Windows 10? I believe most of you. Yeah. So have you ever used Cortana? Cortana? Cortana is, okay, how many of you in this room using iPhone? iPhones? Yeah, quite a number, right? Are you using Siri very often? No. Come on, why? Because you have a personal assistant there. Why didn't you, you know, optimize it? So like in iPhones, you know Siri, but at least you know Siri, right? So it is kind of an assistant for you anytime, anywhere. And then in Windows 10, it's already been provided you for free with Cortana. So it's also kind of an assistant. And let's see how Cortana help us, okay? So I will lead you now to the first demo on how we use Cortana in playing around with the HR analytics. And I would like to invite Long to walk you through this. I'm going to share with you 3 examples if time allows, otherwise we can go with 2. And also because of, you know, we wanted to give it a live demo to you, but the internet connection in this room is not really, really good. So we're going to show you, you know, kind of, we already video this in advance, and then, you know, we're going to show it to you now. And along the way, we also have to explain. So over to Long.
Hello, good afternoon. Yeah. Thank you, Trân. Yeah. Okay, so in this demonstration, yeah, we are trying to apply, you know, the Power BI, one of the Microsoft technology, and integrate with the Cortana to, you know, how to transform the business into SR management. Actually, because I'm trying to go to live demo, but because the technical issue, so I just record the video and I will show you. Yeah. Actually, you can see that the Cortana is just a search tool on a Windows 10, and you can, it can recognize your voice and also what you type in here. In this example, I just type in, the HR summary. It can just pop up the dashboard that we designed in advance. Yeah, we had the answer card for the HR summary. You can see here we had the number of headcount by location and also the accretion over the year. And in the pie chart, it just give you the distribution by, the project role, like in our IT outsourcing, we had a software engineer, tester, and maybe the project manager thing. And can you click? Yeah, when you click on the, the location, the number just change. Yeah, that's why.
So basically, yeah, it's something like how you monitor in your business, right? For example, that example that we are sharing over here is like the business having two sites, one in Ho Chi Minh City and one in Hanoi. And then in the company, you have how many employees and how the different skill set of the employees is being classified. Yeah, just simply like that. So you can also apply it into your business as well. And you can, divide them into either sales or marketing or HR and then other functions, for example, right?
Yeah. And because this is a very small screen, so in case you want to have a better look, so I think that maybe because this one, I just try to drill down into the lower level, like things like how many years the demographics, and maybe, the demographics by location, and about the contract type. Yeah. Yeah. Just let's move on. And this one, I just try to open, the Power BI website, which is hosting on the cloud. Yeah. This will give you, the whole overview about the dashboard that we had designed before. Yeah. This is the whole picture. You can see. Yeah. That is just a dummy data. You can see we had a report from the, the January to the August, and we had a number of headcount by location and by gender and the attrition rate here. The headcount row compared to the last year. And when you click on the, the location like Hanoi, the number just change. Yeah. This interact with the other visuals, so you can see very easily. Yeah. That is an example that Chị Trân just said you before. Yeah, I just try to give you an overview. That is on the left-hand side, it's just on the attrition chart. Yeah, over the month from January to the August. Yeah. And on the right-hand side, it's just the distribution by the female and male. You can see the number and the productivity and non-productivity for the demographic also, and the seniority and the year of service. Yeah. And in the Power BI, it also introduced a very interesting feature like Q&A. Yeah. In this example, I just try to ask how many people left by month. Yeah. It also quickly answer you. Yeah. In a very practical way and natural. Yeah. And if I change by location, it will change the visual. So as a leader, you can see, you can tie, and you don't need to count on the IT department to do the chart for you. For now, we just had the model, and you can just try to ask the Power BI. Yeah. This is another slide. Yeah. You can ask by demographics or by the contract type. Or also by the productivity. Yeah. And next thing, I will introduce another feature that's also help you to get the insight, like this one. When I click on my workspace, yeah, and click on a report, yeah. Yeah. Because we had the data and we turn it into the information, but now, the Power BI also support us to get the insight, yeah. So you can see here, we had the number of hiring over the year, and it can give you the noting line. Yeah. The category, the software engineer has more headcount percentage. Right? Yeah. The software engineer is the one who are left us, things like this. High. I think with Power BI, you can easily create the chart on the fly. Yeah. As a SR leader, you can control your work very quickly and also in a very efficient way. Yeah. And that solution is just on the cloud. So I think that this is very cost effective.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Long. So that is the first demo of how, you are utilizing the technology and then, and then turning all of those information into something more visible and more easy for us to digest of those information. And it also help us to save a lot of time to generate into very effective reports as well, right? Rather than you just send to your boss, just different sheets of Excel with a lot of numbers there. And I think the second example I also want to share with you over here is that how can you also use the HR analytics in order to, helping employees and also the line managers in training and development, okay? For example, currently, normally we just keep the training records, yeah, of the employees by Excel sheets, just put it that way. If your company is having some sufficient fund, you're gonna have, a software bot from Oracle or something in order to run them automatically. But if not, I'm sure that we will also use a very traditional way, that is using manual and then tracking them on Excel sheets, right? And then whenever, suddenly if your boss or any line managers ask you about, what's gonna be, I'm struggling with recommending a training plan for my staff, what I'm going to do, right? And which means you have to go back to your tons of data and you look into them, and then you're gonna, pulling out all of the information and see, what are the training record of the employee A or something like that, right? And again, by optimizing the power of business information, that we also could be able to have, kind of a recommender system. May I also ask you, any of you here have ever tried, buying something online, for example, through Amazon, let's say? Have you tried that before? Okay, so thank you. So normally when you buy something on Amazon, if you notice, you buy an item, let's say if you buy a book, right? And if you notice at the bottom of the page, you will also see that people buying this thing will also take this thing, something like that, isn't it? Yeah, so in this example, I'm going to share with you is that how can we also recommend, a training system for our people. And that is very easy to use for the employees or also for the line managers, right? As an employee, I could just go there and then I would just see that, if I am, an HR person, if I'm just a starter, then what's gonna be the courses that I should take, right? And vice versa, if my line manager using this, he or she will also, just look into the profile and at least there is some recommended similarity. At least it's help, for you to save a lot of time and effort into doing those kind of things. And in this example, what I'm sharing with you is, how to recommend a person. And I think because I'm coming from an IT company, so I'm sorry that the example I'm using here is, like a bit IT related. So I hope that if some of my colleagues over here from the same industry, you may also get it quickly. But Long, can you just play it? Thank you. But otherwise, it's also very easy to, to follow. Yeah. So we also can ask, we can ask Cortana on what are the, the common, if you classify the employees by competencies, yeah, then we're also giving you a different, already, the data of different people in different skill set. Yeah, just put it that way, yeah? And it gives you an idea, if you look into that demonstration, you can also see, in the company, how many people in different skill set, and in order for you, for example, to grow a certain skill set, and you can see the reality, you will also know what are you going to do next. Yeah? And this is talking about, like a training recommendation. Let's say, in this case, we said that, we just select the skill of techniques and language for a .NET programmer, yeah? And then when you submitted that, then the system will also recommended you from the data of your companies, yeah? It will also recommended you that the employees who learn the skill will also learn something else, right? And it's already giving you some examples down there for you to, as a line manager, to just pick that up and to discuss with the employees or to justify and verify the skill of the people and then recommended them. And then being the employees, you will also be able to, because sometimes we don't know what we have to do, right? Or we have to learn. This also giving you some recommendations for you to think, yeah, or to choose. So it's very simple, I believe, and it is very powerful in a way, but the thing is that maybe because so far we didn't really look into this and to maximize the benefit that we already currently have in hand. Yeah, and for example, if you look into this, we also take it into very personal stage that we even type an employee's ID number there, and we also giving you the training record of that person. So all of the 10 skills that the employees of that, specific ID already have, and then it's also recommended to you the skill set that this employee should learn further if he or she wants to develop. This is just a dummy example, but just to give you an idea of how things work. Okay? But more importantly is that it also can help you to generate, more information out of this. When we look into the whole group of department, let's say if we just pull out a group of department of, in order to have a look at the overview and how you're gonna, how you can identify the key training needs for that department, it also can help you to generate this information. Right? So that is an example of how we can, make a recommender system for the training development. I'm just trying to give you a different, aspect, because in a way, in every single area of HR that you are practicing at the moment, we can still apply technology into this, and in order to maximize it. Yeah. So this is the last demo, but do you think you have time for this? Yeah, okay, that is fine. That is fine. So, do you have any questions for us? So, in a way, because of the time constraint, so I think I will just stop over here. And very much welcome if you have any question here. Or otherwise, you can also contact me later on, and then I can email you as well. Okay?
So, does anyone have any questions on Ms. Jan's presentation so far?
Yes, please.
Just I want to ask them where you build up that database to have the demonstration.
Again, because this is for the purpose of sharing to everybody. So we just build, kind of a dummy database in order to show you. So this numbers does not belong to any company. But of course, if you want to use this for your organization, we could be able to, customize it for you, and then so that you can also be able to generate all of those things that you have seen earlier, or even in more in depth, because again, this is just for demo purpose. Yeah. So if you have any further questions, you contact me later on, and then I would be able. I'm very happy to share with you how we do that. Yeah.
Who has the next question?
Yeah, please.
So from the last demo video, the recommendation for the training is based on the search of the employees, or based on what kind of source of data?
Source, yeah. So like what I mentioned earlier, it will be depends on different organization. For example, in this example, what we did is that we just take the record of all of the people in your organization and picking out all of the similarities, because each different organization will have different stories, different, nature and things like that. So in a way that you can easily just customize it to your organization, right? For example, let's say if in my organization, if anybody who joining presentation skill will also joining communication skill, yeah. But maybe in your organization, because of the nature of your business, everybody who joining presentation skill may take also, negotiation skill, because you are working in a sales organization, right? So again, it's very much depend on the database of your own organization, and it will give you the recommendation, because the recommendation should be also practical and applicable to your organization, right? And I cannot just use it from your organization and use it in mine. No.
Thank you.
So am I answering your question? Thank you.